When you think of Rome, you think of ancient glory, the Colosseum, the Vatican, cobbled streets, espresso bars, and the romantic heartbeat of Italy. You think of the city that became the backbone of Christianity throughout Europe's history, a place where faith, power, and culture shaped an entire continent. But the reality in 2025 is something very different. Today, Rome is a city struggling under the weight of modern problems, integration issues that fuel tension in the streets, a housing crisis pushing locals further and further out of their own neighborhoods, rising petty crime that chips away at the city's sense of safety, drug problems creeping into districts that were once calm, and a city leadership that seems unable to get ahead of the challenges that keep piling up. This isn't the Rome from postcards, this is the real Rome of 2025. Beautiful, chaotic, historic, but slowly falling apart. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly why that is. Welcome to Rome, a city of power, beauty, and chaos. Behind me is Castel Sant'Angelo, rising over the ancient Tyber River. Once an emperor's tomb, later a great fortress, and then the Pope's literal doomsday bunker. What a crazy place. It actually, to me, looks like the front of a massive boat made out of old bricks. Nonetheless, it is jaw-droppingly beautiful.
The Tyber River, which you can find directly in front of the Castel Sant'Angelo, is actually the reason that Rome is in the position where it is today, because as the myth goes, the twins Romulus and Remus were abandoned at the banks of this specific river, found by a female wolf and then nursed back to life, and that's exactly where the city of Rome was then founded afterwards. And this river actually was a very, very strategic point for the city of Rome. For centuries, it offered them a way of trading with other cities. Obviously, for the water streets, it was connecting Rome to other cities, a source of fresh water. It can handle the sewage of the entire city, and people were obviously still are fishing in this river as well. So this is really the strategic point for Rome to be.
The seagulls here are like the main attraction for a lot of the tourists. Seagulls are snatching people's food, and the seagulls themselves are like the size of frickin' Labradors. They're massive, and they just swoop down and take whatever you got out of their hands. They're cheeky buggers, and they're everywhere here. I made it to Ottaviano metro station, and believe it or not, just this week, Simone, I'm probably gonna butcher your name, I'm sorry bro, Simone Ciccalone was brutally attacked. And I don't know why I'm smiling, it's an absolutely horrible thing that happened to him. He was brutally attacked by 10 pickpockets, 10 versus 1, 10 absolute cowards attacked him right here in this very station, all for the reason of documenting the pickpockets and what they do in the metro system here in Rome. From here, we're heading towards Termini, which, believe it or not, is the largest station in all of Italy. And that is supposed to be the epicenter of the bad stuff that's going on in Rome. It's not the postcard, pretty, glamorous, insulated side of Rome. It's a different side.
And just to give you guys an idea about those pickpocket thefts, just in terms of compared over the years, last year in 2024, 33,000 pickpockets have actually been recorded just in the city of Rome, which is a 66% increase from the year of 2019. Termini Station is actually the largest transport hub in the entirety of Italy. About 500,000 people every single day come through here because it's obviously the connector to all of the suburbs and also all of the larger other cities within the country of Italy. But Termini and the Trevi Fountain area are the two areas in Europe that are the most dangerous when it comes to pickpocketing, and that's actually a title that is really, really difficult to get, because if you look at, for example, London, if you look at Paris and so on, being the worst place for pickpocketing, that's a real achievement.
And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a backpack like a stupid tourist, it's empty.
Because he is.
Yeah, and I am a stupid tourist. But the backpack is completely empty. It's just basically sort of a koi or a trap, I guess you could say. We're gonna see if someone tries to reach into it at some point.
There's a homeless person slipping behind the construction thing.
They've
here.
made like a barricade for themselves out of some broken board or whatever. And this is already blocked off from construction, but they've made their own little zone here. So this whole exit of the subway station is just for probably a group of homeless people.
It also intensely smells like pee, but I feel like that's like the common theme of Europe. If it doesn't smell like pee, we wouldn't feel at home. Just so you are aware, as a tourist, the main things here, the main pickpocketing issues usually happen, for example, when you're on the escalator, so you're going up and down, and people will just steal your stuff straight off of your body. Then you have people who sell fake tickets here, fake train tickets, fake hop-on, hop-off buses, and so on. Then you have people who apparently spill something on you, and then while they're trying to help you clean it up, they will steal everything that you own, or somebody else will steal everything that you own, and so on. And then you have just like your average European scams where people will ask you to sign a petition and somebody else is gonna rob you and so on. So you have a little bit of everything, but I feel like the scammers are getting sort of more creative when it comes to the city of Rome.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, there's one thing that Europe does really, really well, and that is hide up the destruction of things that have happened here. Believe it or not, on the 26th of September this year, 2025, during a pro-Palestine demonstration, vandalism was carried out by the protesters. They spray painted the words "fascist shit" over this statue of Pope John Paul II. They also added a hammer and sickle, and they wrapped his head, or over him, a keffiyeh to represent Hamas.
John Paul is actually our favorite pope, so
he was
we're very happy to see it.
The last good pope. There's people all over this square here, all over, trying to sell fake tickets to it's fake tickets for the red bus, right?
For tourists, yeah.
For tourists. So they'll sign you on to like a whole deal, and they'll make you pay whatever they want. And the ticket is not real. So when you go to the red tour bus company, those guys are gone.
Ah yes, just what you imagined. When you think of Rome, you think of marble, you think of the Vatican, you think of churches, you think of nice food, and you think of pee and graffitis, of course.
Right now we're about to walk through one of the roughest corners of Rome, a side of the city most tourists will never come close to. The streets, they feel forgotten, drug use out in the open, and plenty of doctors and engineers. The atmosphere is tense, but this is the reality many locals have to deal with every single day in 2025.
What language was that?
No idea. It wasn't Italian.
It sounded merely Portuguese.
Everybody who I think is normal is like a drug addict or like homeless, or
from far away I was so happy to see her dog.
turns out she was just homeless.
Yeah, sad.
this way maybe. I don't know if it leads to the market. Well, this is the side of Rome that the tourist brochures and all of the magazines and all of the bullshit that they're not going to sell you. They're never going to show you this part. Can't imagine booking a hotel close to the largest station in all of Italy. This is hell on earth, literally. Yeah, don't even know what to tell you guys. This is so depressing. So the center of Rome, the historical center of Rome, it feels basically like every other major European city. Obviously, there's different sorts of history to do with the Romans and everything else, but the center itself is kind of like an insulated little playground for tourists. So like when you come here as a tourist, the vast majority of people are going to be staying somewhere around the Vatican, the historical center, Trevi Fountain area, Spanish Steps. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of scams and there's a lot of pickpockets and there's a lot of stuff to be aware of in those areas too. But it literally feels like sort of like a really like cordoned off like playground area where you're going to just be removed from the real daily life of Rome. And that's where we are now.
Every single shop of this street, by the way, is Chinese. There's not a single Italian shop.
There's nothing Italian about this. And this is the busiest area of Rome. This is where the most amount of people come through. 500,000 people a day pass through Termini Station. So if you're gonna comment down below and say this is only one area of the city, it's like a broken window in your house. It's only one broken window in your house, but that broken window is gonna let in water, it's gonna let in bad weather, and it's gonna destroy the rest of your house eventually. Welcome to Mercato Esquilino. Huh?
Piazza Vittorio, la tradizione. They're saying that this is like
this is
the tradition of this area.
Traditional Italian area right here. People using drugs and mass graffiti and people selling drugs and yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, pineapple.
You should have sung it. Good morning, pineapple.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Alles good?
Good. Alright. So we just
This is just the clothing area.
So we just walked through, we just did a loop, and 100%. It's literally, ciao, buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Literally 100% of the sellers and the vendors here. Drum roll, please. They're not Italian. Oh my god. Just exactly what you want to see in a market, right? feel so bad for these people because it's the government's fault, really. So this entire market here is selling exclusively Indian clothing, so Indian Punjab and hijabs as well, which traditionally, you know, very Italian.
And this entire market, I read online, it used to be actually an outside market, and then after a while the government gave this market organization these houses. Oh, there's lots of police in the street over there.
Yeah, of course. This whole area here is basically one massive ghetto. Wow. So,
you have the halal, and then directly beside it you have the Filipinos selling only pork. Oh, nice. Oh, and then you have halal again.
it feels like we're in rural Pakistan in a market. We've traveled all over South Asia and Southeast Asia and most of the world, actually. We've seen around 60 countries, believe it or not. And this here is no different to the markets of South Asia. Smells are the same. There's no local people, like literally no local people. So take it as you want it. You can either say that it's a positive or a negative. They have fresh fruits and vegetables if you want to take that as being a positive. It's also going to be like immensely more affordable as well than a lot of the other like tourist markets will be. So keep that in mind. If you do want to save yourself some money, this is the place to come.
By the way, I don't think that we mentioned it in this video. Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
I am half.
Good morning.
I am half Italian, and well, my mom is from Sicily, and my family is actually big into market selling as well. So this obviously is taking also spots from local vendors, and my family would be like directly impacted if they were to live in the city of Rome, because obviously you cannot match the prices as a local. It doesn't work. Don't get me wrong. It's an amazing place. There's no way that a local manage a family.
Vieni qua.
Ireland. Irlanda.
Oh.
Yeah. You?
I have a lot of friends, Irish people.
Nice.
See.
It's good. Very bad weather, but it's okay.
Irish is a good people.
Yeah. You are from?
I'm from South Africa.
South Africa.
See.
Nice.
Johannesburg.
Nice to meet you,
How
bro.
long you are here?
Huh?
How long you are here?
Here for only 1 week. Just see some family.
There is, close to here, there is Irish pub.
Yeah.
See.
Nice. They sell Guinness probably.
The owner of the kids is my friends. We grew up together.
Ah, cool.
See, that's why I have a good relationship from Irish friends.
Cool. You live in Rome long time?
See, I live in more than 20 years.
20 years?
I was a small boy, I came here.
Wow. You like it? It's okay?
I like in Western.
50-50. Nice to meet you.
Sir.
McGregor, yes. UFC.
Oh, sir, can I ask some point to some food like?
Sorry, I don't have. I'm really sorry.
Okay, no problem, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you, bro.
God bless. Bye-bye.
You have this amazing piece of Roman history here, aqueduct directly outside of the market. The market is just here on the left, and it's filled with trash. It's filthy. There's lots of homeless people there in the back who seem to be having a good time. I mean, it's a nice day, but then you have lots and lots of garbage everywhere here. It's insane how much disrespect is actually being shown to the Roman population, the Roman history, and the Roman culture in general. Makes me sad to see.
This area around here is absolutely disgusting, honestly. Trash everywhere, and it's mental. I don't know. It's not a single native Italian, and if you're gonna say to me, oh,
You don't know if they're Italian.
You don't know if they're Italian. Yes, we do. Stop this nonsense. There is native Italians the same way as there's native Chinese, the same way as there's native Japanese, the same way as there's native pick and choose a country. This whole thing that Europe does, where it's like we have to be tolerant, we have to accept that, oh, you can look like anything and you're still from this country. It's like, that's not what it is. It's the same reason that I can't just show up in China and say I'm Chinese, and then everybody's gonna be like, you're from China. No, they're not that thick.
If you knew what other cultures are actually saying about local Europeans, you would think very, very differently about how diversity, inclusion and so on functions. And again, this is a conversation of legal versus illegal migration. It's a conversation of causing issues versus not causing issues. It's a conversation of integration or creating more crime. And if you're coming for us saying that foreign nationals are not causing more issues in European countries, I can actually come with the numbers and show you exactly. Foreign nationals actually make up 8.9% of the Italian population in 2024, which is very, very low, but they are causing 35% of the crime as 8.9% of the population. That's an insane number.
Let's have a look here, guys. It's ancient, unbelievably old and beautiful architecture, and just absolutely destroyed, like completely destroyed, with just shit written all over it. These streets, like the streets of Rome, thousands of years old. All roads lead to Rome. It was like the first road network was here. It's from the Romans. And this is what the modern Rome. We're apparently making progress, right?
All of these shops here are also sort of filled up with foreign nationals, obviously, because locals don't want to live here. I don't think that any local will want to have their shop or their whatever restaurant in an area like this or in a situation like this.
Not at all. Antifa. This whole area is absolutely disgusting. Like this whole section actually of Rome. If I arrived here as a tourist, which I'm a tourist in this city, I am just utterly disgusted.
You can kind of see how some people were trying to put in the work and restore and renovate some of the areas, but it was destroyed immediately afterwards. Like the new, it's just doesn't make any sense to even keep it up.
This is all new. So as you can see, the roof up here, like it's out of reach from all of the little muppets that have paintbrushes or spray cans. They can't reach up this high, so this looks beautiful and well put together. And then down here below, it's just absolutely trashed. This here is a perfect representation, by the way, of the European Union right now. So the front-facing part, when you look at it from the front, you're like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, it's so welcoming, it's so clean, it's so nice. This is like the tourist area of most European cities. And then when you leave your tourist hotel and you walk a little bit and you go into more of the actual local areas, oh, it's not so clean, it's not so nice. Oh, I might get stabbed. Oh, I might get pickpocketed. You never know. Welcome to Europe 2025. Shit show. Ciao.
Do you want a sandwich or something?
I just want espresso.
Espresso? You want a panini?
Yeah.
Si vuoi pagare con la carta?
Sì, giusto.
Due panini?
Hamon, due?
Due, sì, grazie.
Sì.
Ah sì, per favore. E poi due caffè
Sì.
da bere qua.
Bevi qua. Due caffè, espresso?
Espresso, sì.
Piccolo?
Piccolo. Voi, do you want double?
Doppio?
Doppio?
Doppio, sì.
Doppio va bene, doppio
Buon
espresso.
doppio?
No, due.
Due doppio? Se voi sentiamo là, mangia qui.
Grazie. Mamma mia, doppio espresso.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia, che buona.
Yes, very tasty. Che buono. Cin cin.
Cin cin. Nothing beats Italian coffee. Great people watching spot, by the way. Outside the window, there's a guy that's just chugging a bottle of Tetra Pak wine. There's drug deals happening. There's Somalis and all sorts of Africans just roaming around, some of them completely butt naked. And then there's the park over on the left side, which we're going to check out as well just after. Also, completely full of the highest skilled workers of Europe, of course.
Somebody's bag got stolen. If you're looking for your... Oh, lots and lots of cannoli. Nice. If you're looking for your bag, I think this specific park here is probably the first spot to come to if you want to find like the rest of the stuff that was taken from you. We are now at Piazza Vittorio Emanuele II, which by the way has a very, very strong suggestion for women not to come to when they are by themselves, and at night time you should probably not come here at all if you are a female. Now it just looks like a broken, dirty fountain.
It's a broken, dirty fountain, yeah. So this park was inaugurated in 1888. You can imagine just how beautiful the fountains and the park in general was back then. Right now it's just basically a dirty, open drug den. The amount of rough sleepers in that park in the middle of the day is crazy. It's really something else. You see about maybe 10, 15 people sleeping. There's some tents in there as well. And there's basically just groups of people hanging around on the periphery of the park, as you can see behind me, selling drugs. There's people, literal gangs of men aged anywhere between teens all the way up into their 50s and 60s that are just using drugs, all while some people are bringing their families and their kids and walking their dogs through it. Syringes on the floor, broken glass. It's a horrible situation if you are living somewhere around here and this is your public park. And this is the type of places that you're paying taxes to go towards. It's a horrific situation.
Yeah, I think if you're living anywhere in the area here, there's nowhere else to go with your kids, really.
Yeah, it's like a big concrete city. Yeah.
Rome doesn't really have lots and lots of facilities, and usually, like the children care facilities are usually very expensive, and a lot of people simply cannot afford to go to these types of places and leave their child there. So just going to a playground here is going to be a difficult situation, I think.
Ciao. Bye bye. That's the entrance of a
Jeep.
car sales place for Jeep. Yeah. Absolutely crazy. Ay, 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 ay. We are deep in the ghetto right now. And you can always tell when you're knee deep in the ghetto when there's Free Palestine written everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere.
Wanted Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, You got the bloody handprints. Yeah. Ciao. What sort of a petrol station is that? This place is mental. Like, different world. If you go to the historical quarter, it is beautiful. The churches, the history, the food, the amount of restaurants. This is just totally removed from that reality. It's the same architecture, but that's about it. Nowadays, you do not walk these streets if you like your safety, if you like your mobile phone, if you don't want to be mugged, if you don't want to be punched, if you don't want to be attacked. You do not come here once the sun goes down. Or even during the day, for that matter. There's people who've been literally attacked in Rome in broad daylight and had bottles broken over them, stones thrown at them, and much, much more.
You guys, no matter how many times you spray Free Palestine, Israel are assassins on historically important and very beautiful to look at buildings, you're not changing anything about the situation in Israel. Do you really think Netanyahu is like, oh no, they sprayed Free Palestine or Free Gaza on a building, and therefore now I will cease to kill Palestinians? That's not how that works.
You know what, just while we're walking here through this never-ending ghetto of Rome, I'm gonna read you some incidents, because I just looked it up. It's all publicly available information. If you really want to find out how safe it is here, you can do that very, very quickly through the power, I guess, of the internet. So just from the 1st of October up until now, which is the 18th of November, 1st of October, asylum seeker went on a rampage near Termini Station, throwing bottles at passers-by and assaulting locals while screaming incoherently. October 10th, Spanish tourist was hit by an electric scooter, knocked unconscious, phone stolen while he was on the ground. A doorman was stabbed in the neck after refusing to give a cigarette to a migrant on October 20th. A travel YouTuber was assaulted in a park for filming open drug use, threatened with violence by an NGO worker. October 21st, migrant whipped 2 Jewish American tourists with his belt near a tourist site, stole and smashed their phone while yelling "Free Palestine, motherfucker." Dedication. Group of undocumented African migrants sleeping rough at Termini Station attacked a police station and tourists with bottles and rocks on October 28th. October 29th, 28-year-old Egyptian stabbed in the early morning brawl at Villaggio Falcone. October 29th, a gang of 30 hooded North Africans vandalized parked cars with bats and crowbars in a guerrilla neighborhood attack. November 1st, undocumented Nigerian throws rocks at tourists and passers-by, striking one in the head. November 1st, tram driver punched and robbed at the depot by 2 North African men demanding cash. November 3rd, 17-year-old boy stabbed during a street fight near the outskirts of Rome. November 5th, tourist from Staten Island, New York, stabbed in the neck during an altercation. November 9th, a woman groped during breakfast at a central bar in the center of Rome. November 9th, 25-year-old Gambian beaten and stabbed by rivals. November 11th, 2 rival youth gangs, Tunisian and Egyptian, in their 20s, clashed with machetes and bats in the city center of Rome. Now, there's about 15 to 20 more, but I could quite literally stand here and read for about half an hour. So if you're gonna be in the comments,
1.5 months.
This is just 1.5 months of Rome. Only Rome in Italy. If you think that's normal, if if you think that's okay, if you think that that Rome is very safe or it's okay place to be, you're deluded. Yeah. Just claimed the entire doorway of this building for homeless. It seems to be like kind of a whole building that's dedicated to squatters. Homeless people, drug addicts. They just claim entire buildings here. And then it's just basically full of illegal squatters that don't even pay rent to be in there. They just basically take the abandoned buildings. It's fascinating to see the contrast when you look higher versus when you look over here. They're making an effort, they're making an effort to try and keep things clean here, but I think you can only do so much when there's so much of it happening all throughout the city, homelessness, and you have groups, terrorist groups like Antifa and stuff like that are doing these things. It's there's only so much that you can do before it just further descends into chaos, because you can't really control every aspect of city life. And Europeans, especially Western Europeans, we're numb to a lot of this. We've become completely sort of black-pilled, and people have just sort of removed themselves entirely from the situation. And that also makes it worse, because a lot of young people are fleeing Italy, fleeing Ireland, fleeing Germany. And that just makes it even worse, because there's no young Europeans left to fight the good fight.
Especially the higher educated ones, because it just doesn't make sense to stay in these countries anymore with the tax regulations, with the outlook on the future and so on. So everybody that has a little bit of education usually, and the possibility, the opportunity, leaves the second that opportunity arises.
Exactly. It's just basically homeless person after homeless person around this area. And I am fully understanding if you are black-pilled and you're from Rome. I would be too. As you can see, there's super old, beautiful, historical aqueducts that have basically just turned into open-air drug markets down below. The guy that was sitting down below immediately spotted my camera, and now he's getting up to walk away. So try and go closer and have a look. The guy in the hat is a drug dealer, 100%. That's why he's moving away. And then there's homeless people quite literally everywhere around the base. So I'll show you. Yeah, so this gate was built in 1585. More homeless. They have the whole facade of
How beautiful.
ancient Rome right here. Ancient and medieval Rome. Absolutely stunning. And then you just turn your head this way, and it's just nasty. The level of mental illness, homelessness, drug abuse, it's horrific. Stop with the tolerance. Stop accepting these conditions. Just because we're Europeans, we don't have to be pushovers. We don't have to accept the white guilt narrative. Stop all that stuff. Enough. No more. We need to actually protect and defend the things that we grew up with. It's just unbelievable the state that we have allowed our great cities, our once great cities, to decline into. All because we feel guilty about offending people. Fuck that. Crackheads everywhere. We found the trans version of Palestine, by the way. So this seems to be the gay and pro-Palestine flag, or it's just the sun-bleached version of the Palestine flag, but either way, what a beautiful corner of the city.
Solidali con tutte le popolazioni oppresse. Solidarity to all of the oppressed populations, but we're only speaking about Palestine. We're not speaking about the Christians all over the world.
All over the world being persecuted every day.
The Congolese. We're also not speaking about the Iranian women that are fighting against wearing the hijab. They are fighting against Sharia law. That have been oppressed. We're not talking about Sudan, about the Congo. We're not talking about Nigeria. We're not talking about any of those. It's just Palestine.
Yeah. The millions of children that are starving in Sudan at the moment. That doesn't matter because it's not mainstream news. They only care about the causes that are popular on social media. And then when that fades away, all of a sudden everybody will care about Ukraine again. Or whatever CNN decides to talk about, that will be the next thing. Post a black square on your Instagram to save the Ukraine.
Thank you.
Buona giornata a lei. No, non ti preoccupare.
Ciao. Tanti auguri.
Is he from Rome?
Tutto il giorno lo penso. No.
Sei di Roma?
No,
Dove sei?
Io Romania.
Romania?
Bucaresti?
No, Costanza.
Costanza. The
Una
Black
bella
Sea.
città. Bella città.
Bella città. God bless.
Figlia, mia figlia. Non parla italiano.
Io sì capisco.
Mia figlia giovane morta.
Oh, ma qua in Italia o in Romania?
Romania.
Oddio.
Per 7 anni. Fatto infarto, lasciato nipotino là, giuro, da 3 mesi. Io tutto soldi, quando prende manda per nipotino.
Per lei, capisco.
Tanti auguri per tutto. Ciao.
Buona giornata a lei.
Buona giornata. Buona giornata.
Ciao ciao. Child died of you're going to crying. His child died of a heart attack
His child died of a heart attack.
His daughter when she was 7 years old, and he is here, or he came here to try and make a living, to send money back to his family, but he can't make it work and nobody is giving him money. We're like the first people that gave him money today, and
Horrible.
I'm trying not to cry.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reality of Europe in 2025. The men and women that are trying very, very hard to look after their families, make some sort of a living, come here to do work or to send money home. They're being kicked to the curb. Italians are being kicked to the curb. Hard-working Europeans, a lot of them are on the streets. Young Europeans can't afford to live in Europe anymore, can't afford to rent houses, can't get jobs because they're being priced out of the job market, can't get houses because they're priced out of the house market, and also because a lot of these houses and apartments are being given to people who are coming across illegally. So how are you supposed to win if you're a European? We just had a look inside this absolutely gorgeous church. No tourists to be seen anywhere. We spent a good solid hour inside of there, and it is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous inside. And yeah, very quiet, very peaceful. Rome is not just the Trevi Fountain and the Colosseum. Rome is everywhere, all over Rome. It's not just in the tourist center where you need to be. It's places like this as well.
This is like the secret tip of Rome. This specific church is called Basilica di Santa Croce in Gerusalemme, and they have very, very special relics in there. We're not going to say what it is, but you can go and find it out for yourself.
Alright people, so we made it to the Colosseum just in time for golden hour and for sunset. Have a look at how beautiful it looks. This is almost 2,000 years old. 2,000 years of history, older than the English language itself. Still stands also as the largest amphitheater on earth. The history is unbelievable. Down on the ground level, you've got nothing but North African and African scammers. Arabs scamming tourists that come here with their money to spend on things like the beautiful history, like the amazing museums, and all that good stuff. And then you have absolute muppets like this guy here down at the bottom, and yeah, they just basically are just here to mess up all of the tourists' day. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're handing out bracelets or whatever other crappy stuff that they can do to try and scam tourists out of their hard-earned money. If you see these people around the Colosseum, if you see these people at the Trevi Fountain, if you see these people anywhere in Europe, just simply say 2 words to them.